I'm going to do another revision because every time I do it, it's boring. I have 400 facts, and the facts are interrelated. I have to give you the short version. This video, what I have to do is that Vanity Fair has 10 undeniable facts about Woody Allen, about allegations of sexually abusing Dylan. So let me try. Number one. Okay. I will start with number 10 because number 10, Maureen Orr says I'm not a longtime friend, and I have to start with a friend of Mia. I have to start with number 10 because the Guardian Michael Wolff wrote, Maureen Orr, she's a longtime friend of Mia, and then they apologized and they wrote, Vanity Fair has contacted us, and no, not longtime friend, only acquaintance, and they wrote more apologies. I wrote a comment. The Guardian censored me. The Guardian wrote to me an email. David Fuchs, it's legally risky. So they're afraid of Vanity Fair. I want Vanity Fair to sue me. If the Guardian is afraid of you, sue me. Okay, so I started with number 10 because the Guardian said, no, it's only an acquaintance, but the word acquaintance doesn't tell you that the alliance worked. It started in 1992. Mia, Dylan, they send all the traffic to Maureen Orr. Who is a greater defender of Mia than Maureen Orr? And all this traffic is a great support to Maureen Orr. The alliance is working. The word acquaintance doesn't tell you that for 20 years the alliance it's just it worked so good. Okay, number one. Maureen Orr wrote, number one, Mia did not call the cops, she called a doctor. Wrong. She called a lawyer for a legal reason, not a medical reason. The lawyer said, call the doctor, because the doctor gives the cops the info they need. The lawyer said it for a legal reason, not a medical reason. Number two, before there was any accusation of molestation, Woody was already in therapy for it. In therapy for inappropriate. The therapist said what she means by inappropriate. She used the word non-sexual. She made it clear. Maureen Orr forgot to mention that. Number three, he didn't take the police polygraph. He took it was his own people. Woody, when he did his press conference, he said this is the guy who trains the FBI. This is such a top name in polygraph. We flew him in from D.C. He didn't claim that it was a police polygraph. Maureen Orr, then she writes it wasn't accepted into evidence. Now, in Connecticut, is any polygraph accepted into evidence? I mean, I Googled it. It said in Connecticut, no polygraph is accepted into evidence. If you write it wasn't accepted into are you trying to be honest? Number four, Woody lost 4 cases, appeals, and cases that were about Dylan molestation, the subject Maureen Orr is talking about. Look at the high court. The first appeal is 1990. The case is 93. First appeal 94. Look at the highest court in New York in 95. They said, and Mr. Allen says, well, Dr. Moreau has done the extensive investigation and found out that for 7 years, the daddy has been so important in Dylan's life. But Mr. Allen is leaving out the deleterious thing that he still was Sunni. He still hasn't left Sunni. What happened? See, now I'm not being brief. Now they're all interrelated, and I am just going to OCD. I'm just going to tell you that then in 1996, the next year, Dylan was 11 years old, and she still told her doctor, I don't want to see Woody Allen because he is Suni's boyfriend. So I have to stick to Vanity Fair, and but I know 400 facts about this case. The appeals, the appeal. No, they were not talking about the molestation of Dylan. Number 5. The judge wrote, I have to protect Dylan from the molester. Maury North is too smart to lie explicitly. but that's sleaze. She says, she adds on, and the judge recounts that Mia said sexual, and the judge on page 24 said, we'll never know anything about sexual, and but he said the word however. There are other things, and he gave witnesses. He said, I can show inappropriate, and I have to protect her from all that inappropriate. Wilk, Justice Wilk, talked about Suni, talked about parental alienation, turning a kid against her mother. He talked about many things. He named witnesses. He said, look, I learned from these witnesses. He named the therapist who said inappropriate and non-sexual. She said inappropriate because you're excluding the brother Satchel and other things. He named Yale. Yale did the 6-month study. They said sex did not occur. Wilk named it. This is on page 24 when he said, I have to protect Suni. He named them. He did not recount one word. Maury North says he recounted. That was page 5. It was before he began conclusions. Wilk, he has 33 pages, and before he began conclusions, on page 5 he said Mia said yes sex. On page 6 he said the therapist said not sex. On page 24 he did not reference any such thing. He said that all of his witnesses showed him that inappropriate, and Wilk threw in the word grossly. Wilk, right now I can't talk about Wilk, I have to talk about Vanity Fair in this video. Wilk is always talking hate about Woody Allen every chance he gets. He throws in the word grossly. What Wilk really said is that Mia and Farrow both had troubled relationships with the kid, and that Mia needs intensive therapy. That's what Yale really said. Wilk is always lying, but this video is about sometimes they're not lying, sometimes they're stupid, and Dumb and Dumber is the big contest. We will find out. We'll try to see who's dumb and who's dumber. And so she wrote, Maury North wrote number 5, Wilk the judge has to protect her, and the judge also recounted. It's one thing to be dumb and to read something wrong on page 24, but that's a long, page 5, that's a long way to go to make a mistake, to go back 19 pages earlier, and the judge did not recount that. Number 6, 3 adults testified consistent with molestation. This is Maury North, number 6. And there's so much to say about the 3 adults. One of them, the French tutor, saw that Dylan, and she's playing around sundress without underwear. The nanny wrote in her in her book, big deal. She knows Dylan so well, and Mia loves this nanny. Mia helped her write that book. She wrote a big deal. The underwear get soiled. Alison Stickland, the nanny of Casey Pascal. I can't tell you who they are. It's off topic. She saw that Woody's got his lap on. He's got his face in Dylan's lap. Mia always said that that's not news. That's nothing. She always said that the therapist is always doing therapy on Woody, always showing Woody that all these things are non-sexual, but they're inappropriate. Well, the judge on page 6 said that the therapist is always talking to Woody about verbal things, like excluding a satchel and verbal things. The judge did not write that she's always doing therapy on tactile things, non-sexual but tactile, like face in the lap. Mia says that the therapist always did that. She said, I called the therapist and said, oh, Alison Stickland said face in the lap. And the therapist said to me, but he's not supposed to do that. And, well, that's what Mia says, that it's not news. So what is the 3 adults, or what is the 3rd adult? The nanny, the one that Mia loves, the one who wrote the book, she swore that she couldn't find him for 15, 20 minutes. And I'm not going to go off topic to talk about that nanny, her testimony. I have to do that another time. And number 7, Maureen Orth wrote that Yale had a contention. What do you mean a contention? They just had a long list of contentions why they concluded that that abuse did not occur. One contention that Dylan has a problem with fantasy, that she thought there were wigs in the closet, and Yale backed away from its contention, and Yale had no psychologists and psychiatrists, and don't whine about what Yale had, because the prosecutor always went to Yale. Yale did 1,500 cases. The prosecutor, Mako, that esteemed Yale team he never had a complaint about them, and he and the detective sat down with the team in this case. Yeah. Mako, the prosecutor, doesn't like the conclusion that Yale came to, but don't tell me that he didn't like the makeup of the team, that they don't have a psychiatrist. It's Vanity Fair. The contention, he had a contention. It's a long list of contentions. The New York Times did a report about the long list of Yale's contentions. It's contention. Maureen North is trying so hard to make you think that there was one contention and that Yale backed away, and but she never lies explicitly. She's such a smart liar. Number 9, Mako, the prosecutor, said, I have probable cause. I really could win. I just won't. And the prosecutor said the same thing that Maureen North said. He said, look, the judge said it was grossly inappropriate. The judge, he's quoting page 24. That was the page where the judge said, I agree with Mia's expert that we'll never know. And that and the grossly inappropriate is non-sexual. And he said, I have Dr. Coates and I have Yale, and Dr. Coates said non-sexual and Yale said sex did not occur. And Mako says, the judge said, I don't think that Mako has enough to prosecute. I don't think the prosecutor would be successful beyond a reasonable doubt. Then he said, we'll never know what happened there. Well, the judge made a few statements, and it's almost 15 minutes. I'm gonna this YouTube. I'll stop it. Yes, so number 9, number 10. You already know is longtime friend.